Just a quick note to let you know that if you are starting this video, it is part 2. So please don't forget to watch part 1, which has the majority of the knitting content. Enjoy.
So now I want to talk, and I need some input. Because I have so many patterns. I think we're all the same. We have so many patterns that we would love to knit, but we need to have 8 lives, 8 arms, just to knit it all. And that can get a little overwhelming, but there are a couple of sweater patterns, 2 sweater patterns that I am looking at. And this is sort of tied into my acquisitions. So while I'm on the road, I always stop by, and I bought this in I didn't even know there was going to be a little store. There's like a mercantile, like an old haberdashery. In Spain, they have little mercados. They're like little haberdashery stores that have everything, sewing notions, a little bit of yarn, a little bit of fabric, nothing super high end, but they all carry kacha yarn. And in this particular case, I have been watching several videos, and I'll try and put them down below, on autumn knitting, autumn sewing, what are the colors of this season. And I have to say, this is my fall. This is my season, because they have got everything that's on trend is stuff that I really love. Right now. So, sorry, people just walked by and stopped and watched me as I podcast, because my window is open and I'm sitting here and it's like hi. Anyway, so the colors that I'm seeing, and I'm not a fashionista and I don't know anything about fashion, but I like following these videos, and all creams and olives, cranberry and burgundy wine colors, navy and cream, all these colors are coming up. Taupe and navy, taupe and olive. So I saw this yarn. I hope this color kind of shows well. I don't know. It's a complete creamy taupe. It's a taupe. I would say it's taupe. It's not cream and it's not coffee. It's kind of in between. And this is Kacha Classic Merino, and it is 50-50 wool. 52% wool and 48% acrylic. Super squishy because of it's got a little bit of a halo. Oh, really nice. I love yarns that have acrylic in them when I'm traveling. They're easier to care for. I know that sounds terrible, but it's true. They wear easier. They're a little warmer. I will say they don't breathe as well, but because of the wool content, I think I'll be okay. But they certainly are easier to care for. So, and Kacha is one of Spain's biggest brands, so I have to always support that. And this is called Kacha Merino Classic. It's a DK weight. So here I'm going to show pictures. There are 2 patterns that I am looking at, and I'm really torn. I could go either way. One is Sari Nordland's Luminous. I love this pattern. I love the fluffiness of it. I love the lightness of it. I love the cabling lace detail. It's almost like a lace cable combo down the middle, and it's only down the middle. So I like that. It looks like it's a relatively easy knit because you're only having this panel again in the middle that you're having to worry about in terms of lace content. So you're going to get a break and be able to do your stockinette and then a little bit of interest doing the panel in the front. I like that it's a mock turtle. It's not a full turtle. It's just a little bit mock turtle. And I love the way the sleeves look. They're kind of straight. There doesn't look like there's any decreases in the sleeves. And I also like the broader width of the ribbing in both the cuffs and the hem. Love this pattern. So I have this pattern. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, it is meant for bulky weight yarn. So here's my dilemma. I really, really like that pattern. Could I do it in a DK? Could I do it in a DK, decrease my needle size, and go up 3 pattern sizes, say? I know, I'd probably have to swatch. That's a 4-letter word to me. I don't know. But I'd have to swatch. I think if I was going to do that, I would have to swatch. But, question, what do you think about doing that? Because I've got lots of this yarn, so there's no issues. I've got lots of this yarn. I don't want to double it up because then I think I would lose the loftiness. This is quite a nice, light, lofty yarn, but it's DK. So that's issue number 1. The other option, which I think I still would, I love this pattern, and it's the Aura, I think it's Aura Vest by Irene Lynn. Now this one is meant for a DK yarn, and I think I would get a lot of use eventually out of a vest. I aspire to make some of those beautiful hinterland kind of dresses, like in this picture, or the poety blouse, you know, kind of the blouse thing with a nice long skirt. I think that would look lovely. I think it would also look lovely doing a little tuck into the jeans. If you had some straight leg jean, wide leg, you know, straight leg jeans, not skinny jeans, like straight leg jeans. I think that would be a really lovely look. And the color, because I'm not too sure, well, I'm kind of wearing that color now, so I guess I can wear that color. But what I like about this neutral in a vest is you can have the pop of color in the shirt that's underneath the vest. So what I also like about this vest is there's lace. Now I laugh. I was inspired to pick this pattern because Jenny of Honeybird Studio is hosting her annual Irene Lynn MKAL, which my sister and I joined last year. Well, we didn't join it, but we decided to knit an Irene Lynn pattern because of this, and we chose the hazel jumper. Well, I'm halfway through the hazel jumper. I left it at home. I haven't even finished it yet. I absolutely want to finish it. It's a lovely pattern. So this would be my second Irene Lynn pattern, casting on same time of the year, and hopefully I finish it this time though. So her Honeybird Studio Cal is going from now until the end of December. So I just don't know which one to make. I am really torn between the two of them. I don't know which one I'd get more use out of. I love them both. So if you have any thoughts, I would love your opinions on that. So that was what's on my needles next, and that was one of my acquisitions. So there you go, acquisitions. The last acquisition I'm going to show you, and I have to go get it. Hang on 2 seconds. So my last acquisition was kind of a splurge for me. I like to journal my knitting and my crafting. And I tend not to spend a lot of money on journals. I buy notebooks, and I'm starting one. I just got this. I'm 3 weeks late because I like to journal when I'm traveling, especially around my crafting. But I like to embellish it a bit, so I have color pens or wherever, and I just doodle. And I'm not really a good journaler, and I just do whatever I feel like. But what I really like are photos like this. Don't know if you can see that very clearly, but that's a little mini photo of the thumbnail from my last video, one of my 2 last videos with my mom and my sister, which I love. My acquisition is this. It's the Kodak Mini 2 Retro Photo Printer. Love, love, love this thing. Because I love putting in my little journals pictures of either the yarn or my progress, or I know it's all on Ravelry. Well, no, it's not all on Ravelry. I'm terrible at keeping up with Ravelry. Eventually I get around to it, eventually. But I tend to write. I like writing, and I like to write what's happening with my crafting. And then from my journal, eventually I'll get around to Ravelry and I will populate it. But I like taking these little photos. And so this is I just got it from Amazon. It just honestly arrived yesterday or the day before. Super simple, tons of videos online on how to use it and how to set it up, and there's really nothing to it. There is no setup. You just have to plug it in to charge the battery. Amazon was selling it with 2 refills of the photo paper, so I have 60 photos here, and I have 30 in here, so I have 190 photos, which is more than I'm going to need for quite a while, and I will just be writing in my journal, and I will be pasting these somewhere. Now, you can get cameras that do the pasty, like the sticky paper, but what I went for was print and color quality, and I did a lot of research to figure out which one would kind of give me that. And so the trade-off was, do you want sticky paper or do you want quality of clarity and color? And so I wanted clarity and color. And so this is the one that I chose. And I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but I'm just sharing what I found. So that was my other acquisition, which has nothing to do with knitting, but it kind of does. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. And that is all the knit. Oh, no, that's not all the knitting content. What am I saying? Oh my gosh, having a brain burp. So quickly, I wanted to go through the knits that I brought with me. Now, I have one of these Ikea trolleys in my soon-to-be craft room here. And I have just put all my knits that I brought with me. Some of these are going to be staying here. I think, are any of these? This is the only one that was actually here. So this one stays in Spain. I love this. I need to knit myself another one, but this one stays in Spain. But some of these I think are actually going to remain here now. So I brought very quickly the dotted ray shawl that we did for flock. This is made out of Stephe's wool, which is 50% wool, 50% or 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. And it is a color changing, can't remember what it was called, but it was color changing. I think it was called Strawberry Fields or something. And it's held together with, what is it called? Ikea Tweed in a confetti colorway, which I think is color number 1. It's just the original confetti. So that is one of the knits that I brought with me. Again, it's acrylic and cotton because, hey, you don't want anything too hot. Acrylic because very washable. So this is a great travel garment, and it is probably going to be staying here in Spain. So that's that one. Then I brought this, and I don't know that you've seen this in a long time. This is called Summer in the City, and it's a poncho. And this was made with Madeleine Tosh passion flower, cone flower. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's all drop stitches. So you've got all this beautiful drop stitches happening. And this is just a merino single, Madeleine Tosh merino single in the coneflower colorway. And this is a great travel piece as well as a wardrobe piece because it literally rolls right up. It sticks in your purse or wherever. Well, for me it does anyway. When you're going grocery shopping, you're going from the hot into the cold, and you throw something like this on, and because it's a poncho, it doesn't fall off. You're not always having to manage the ends of it. It is a very easy wearable garment. It comes to below my waist, so it is also something I can dress up or dress down with a pair of black slacks and a t-shirt underneath, and I'm dressy. So I love this particular knit. Sorry, I just dropped the camera. I brought with me the Pothos tee. This is my Beth MacDonald Stone Pothos. And again, it's because it's an 100% mulberry silk in a DK weight. And because the DK weight keeps you warm enough, but the silk keeps you cool. There you go. And look at that beautiful lace work. I just love the lace work on this particular garment. And lots of information on my previous podcast about this particular knit. but this one will also most likely be staying here because I will get the most use out of it here. Then this is my white ranunculus made out of Kestrel linen. Oh, that's the back of it. There you go. There you go. This is the ranunculus, as you know, short sleeved. I always do a split hem on mine. If I were to knit this again, which I will, I would use a smaller needle to get slightly tighter gauge. This is great. This goes over everything. I wear it usually with a black tank top underneath and black pants, capris, and over any linen dress that I have. Full stop. One of the greatest, most versatile knits ever, and I have made, this is my 4th ranunculus, I think. Several of which I've given away, and the one that I have is a winter one done with mohair and a cotton merino blend, and this one, which is linen. So, the other knit that I brought with me is my doodle. My doodle from Yumiko Alexander, I think is her name. And this is done in a worsted weight cotton merino blend from Friends brand from Hobby or Hobie. And I've already gotten a ton of wear out of this. It has been monsooning here, so when it gets just a little inclement, this is great. It keeps you warm enough, but at the same time you don't overheat. It's short sleeved, super boxy, and absolutely love this knit. I made it specifically for Spain and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. The other one I brought, this one comes back with me, is my store-bought, there you go, my store-bought 100% cotton, machine knit, lace work. It's got split hems, it's long sleeved, it's in a it's made with 100% sort of a nubbly cotton. I'm not going to say boucle, but pretty close. Slubby kind of a cotton in a very nice lace pattern. I'd love somebody to design a pattern like this because it's very versatile. This is my Luminous tee. I bring this one with me because this one, and this stays here, my Luminous tee, it goes over my navy blue linen dress and my navy blue linen pants and my white linen skirt. And again, this is a handmaiden in the Maldives colorway. In a worsted weight. So again, it really transitions. It is 50% silk, 50% merino. So it works really well in this type of climate. I absolutely love that one. And the other one that's coming back with me, which I brought, is my Beth MacDonald Stone, oops, what is this one called? I'm having a brain burp. What is this one called? I will put it at the bottom. I cannot believe I'm having a brain burp that I can't remember. I test knit this one. This one I would knit again 10 times over as well. The fit is absolutely brilliant. I love what I did. Happy accident. Not that I am a color guru. I'm not. I just used yarns that were in my stash. I used a variegated gray merino held together with a very light fingering Iliamani Sabri, just the regular. This is Sabri 2, which is a worsted weight. This was held together with Sabri, which is a very light fingering, almost lace weight, in the cotton and llama blend, or alpaca blend. I think it's llama though. Might be alpaca. And it turned out to be almost leopard printy. Like, it's, how interesting. It almost looks, I don't even know, it looks animal printish. And I brought it because this, because of the mix, it's a it's got everything. This has got silk, this has got merino, this has got cotton. I just thought it would be very wearable in the evenings, and I have some very nice slim black wide leg pants, and this looks very festive, very dressy. So for those few occasions that we do go out for something a little bit more special, I have an outfit that will not be too warm and not let me get cold. So those are the knits that I brought with me to Spain. So thought I would share those. And that is it for the knitty content for the time being. So I just wanted, for those of you, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around to the end, I hope I kept you company while you craft. I am now going to just go into a little bit of chatter if you want to stick around for about 5 minutes, but otherwise I will see you the next time. Thanks so much. Okay, let's get into a little bit of updates. Okay, so what's been happening? For those of you that have been following along, you'll know that my mom went on a cruise with some of her bridge friends, had a blast. They all got along, so that was a huge success. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Mom is living her absolute best life, second time around, so loving that. Patrick, I got here in Spain. I was here for, 5 days. And then we headed immediately on to a road trip, which I talked about, I think, before. And we went all the way, we drove almost 3,000 kilometers in a week. We drove all the way up on the east side of Madrid, all the way up to San Sebastian. Spent a couple of days in San Sebastian. Then we went to Bilbao. And then from Bilbao, we went to Santander. Then from Santander, we were supposed to go to Luarca and Navia, and that is where I grew up. The weather was turned and became so bad that I made the executive decision. This wasn't Patrick's decision. I made the decision that we would have to do it another time. There was no point in driving that far out and into smaller towns where I wouldn't even know what I was looking at. The rain was so heavy. It's hard enough to drive in a foreign country in really bad weather conditions, let alone try and reminisce and find the old buildings you lived in and the old school you went to and all that kind of stuff. So and I wouldn't have been able to get out and comfortably walk around and just have that memory lane, that memory nostalgia sort of experience that I was looking for. So we didn't do that. And then we headed back down on the west side of Madrid. We went down the whole different way. So absolutely fabulous trip. We had some amazing food. We have heard nothing but, oh, you must go to San Sebastian. You must go to San Sebastian. Looking around, beautiful, beautiful area. The beach, La Concha, is like just this 2-mile harbor that is one big beach. It was amazing. Then we liked Bilbao much better. Bilbao is more industrial, but it's the Guggenheim Museum is there, which we did not get to, unfortunately. That's another trip again. But loved the old town of Bilbao, loved walking around. We stayed in this small little town called Plentia, which was just outside of Bilbao. It was like a 20-minute drive into Bilbao. And I could have moved there. It was just the bomb. It was fantastic. It was exactly what I look for when I'm traveling. It is a small little enclave. It's got restaurants, it's got bars, everybody's local. That's where I found my yarn. Everything's walkable. There's only 2 or 3 hotels, nothing major, and all along a river. Scenic, 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 really Spanish, really lovely, and absolutely loved it. Then we went to Santander and spent a couple of days in Santander. And Santander geographically is beautiful. It's a very beautiful place. It's got 2 or 3 beaches. People live in Santander. Like when I'm looking at it, there were people, and this is not weather related at all, but people were living in Santander. In other words, they're very athletic. Like the beach was full of volleyball players and paddleball players, surfers. There was a soccer game going on one of the beaches. It was like people were out and about and using the beach. The Basque people, this is all Basque country, have a very unique culture, very unique language. Made it a little bit more difficult for me who speaks Spanish, but I do not speak Basque. So it made it a little bit more difficult for me to communicate. And I would say that the Basque people are a little bit more reserved. Beautiful, beautiful, so green, so green. And thank you to the one viewer. I did not make it to the Asturias, and I also grew up there. So I do know that it's the green belt of Spain. And I would have loved to have gone to Navia and Luarca and Oviedo and all that and taken a look, but next time. And then the drive back, the highways, I have to say, are wonderful. The highway up on the east side of Madrid was like Autobahn. It was amazingly well maintained. It was fantastic. The route on the way back was a little less well maintained, but still better than in Canada. Telling you right now, Spanish roads on the main highways are better than what we have in North America. So, or certainly in Canada. And we've traveled a lot in Canada. So we were quite surprised by that, actually. But then GPS did her wonderful thing. So we were using Google GPS. We were supposed to go all the way down on the west side of Madrid, hit Sevilla. When we hit Sevilla, we were supposed to drop straight down to Cadiz and then go across, the coast. Somehow, Google Maps took us in an inland secondary road. I get car sick, people. I did not outgrow motion sickness. So as an adult, I get car sick. And she took us down the Ronda Road. Everybody knows the Ronda Road. That is a mountainous pass that is nothing but switchbacks for 3 hours. It was just brutal. Brutal. Anyway, the most scenic drive ever. If I had to live inland Spain, I would live in between Seville and Ronda. Somewhere in there, it was just stunning. But it was just a brutal ride. Oh my goodness. Certainly the last hour of it was just really, really tough. But that was kind of the excitement of our trip. Then we came here, and of course there's still a water shortage in the south of Spain. So they have had severe water problems. This is not new news. The Costa del Sol has been out of water since the 80s. Yet nothing has been done about it. And so last year, everybody was put on super water rations. They do that so that during the summer season, when the tourists come, they can let the water just flow freely. And then as soon as the fall comes, to all the residents of Spain, they restrict the water again. It's crazy. It's the wrong thing to do, but it's crazy. So the reservoirs, when I got here, were only 35% full. They've gotten down, in 1995, they got down to 5% full. And that is when they rationed the water, where you had to send a family member to stand in line to get a bucket of water, a gallon, whatever, some jugs of water for your family for the day. So they actually had lines to go get water in the 90s. And now the reservoirs are down to 30. We have had 4 straight days of monsoon rain. Yay! I could have been in Vancouver, monsoon rain. But it did help the reservoirs. They're now at 40%. Yay! But that is still dangerously low, because it doesn't rain that much here. So it'll be interesting to see how that I guess turns out. And the other thing is, when it rains like it did in the last 4 days, one of the things that we're noticing in Spain is, even because they're not used to the rain, I guess, there's really no water management program, meaning roads get closed. We notice this about the speed limits on roads too, but anyway, roads get closed in Spain. Malaga, all the streets in Malaga, or many of the main roads in Spain, were closed because of the rain. The roads weren't flooded. It was just raining, and it was raining very hard, so they closed the roads. So Patrick and I laughed about that. We also noticed that when we were driving all over the highways, their speed control is like, you will get a speed limit of 120 kilometers and then literally a mile down the road, 80 kilometers, and then another mile down the road, another up to 120 again for about 2 miles and then back down to 80. It is constantly changing speed limits. You can't actually drive on cruise control one particular limit. If you're going around a bend, they decrease the limit. If you go from 3 lanes to 2 lanes, they decrease the limit. If you're going down a steep hill, they decrease the limit. If you're going up a hill, they decrease the limit. It is the most overly cautious highway system. And when they get rain, they close the road. We just thought that was funny. But yeah, and the only last thing I wanted to share is just, when we got here, when we bought this place, it's a very small little 2-bedroom, little bit of terre. So it's like 1,000 square feet, little apartment. We were the first buyers of phase 2 and there were 100 and some odd units available. And now there are none left and the place is full. It's crazy. It's kind of nice that there's people here, but then it was kind of nice when there weren't. So we're getting used to living in a condominium, and we're not in a high rise. There's only 2 stories. The way this complex is done is it's built like a pueblo. So the buildings, each building only has 4 units in it, and there's many buildings, but and it's all on a hillside, and we have our own cobblestone streets and our own pathways through everything. And it's very lovely. It's very lovely. But it is now a full community of 200 homes in this pueblo. So it's quite nice, but it's a heck of a lot busier than previous years, shall we say. So we're getting used to that. And other than that, I have nothing new and exciting to share, but I thought I would just pop in and say hello. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for continuing to watch or for stopping by. And I really, really enjoy podcasting and sharing all of my shenanigans with you. And I love the comments, so please keep them coming. I hope I kept you company while you craft, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.